guys, hi, I'm Amrit Raj and I am here back with the second chapter of the Umang series, that is Control and Coordination. हमने पोल्स डाले थे कि कंट्रोल एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन में आपको कौन से टॉपिक्स पढ़ने हैं और उसके बेसिस पे आप लोगों ने बताया हमें कि यू वांट टू स्टडी द कोऑर्डिनेशन इन प्लांट्स, कि आपको प्लांट कोऑर्डिनेशन पढ़ना है और सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम पढ़ना है ना. तो आई वुड बी टीचिंग दोज टू टॉपिक्स. आई वॉज होपिंग कि आप लोग हार्मोनल सिस्टम पढ़ोगे बिकॉज दैट्स मोर इंटरेस्टिंग एंड ओके, बट वट एवर प्लांट भी पढ़ना जरूरी है ना. सो या आई गेस आप लोगों को थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट लगता होगा प्लांट, सो दैट्स व्हाई यू हैव वोटेड फॉर इट. सो या, so I will be teaching plant coordination in plants and central nervous system. That is also very important. और उसमें मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा कि ब्रेन का डायग्राम कैसे बनाना है. ओके, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आप लोगों को डिफिकल्टी फील होती है. आई विल शो यू कि हाउ टू ड्रॉ द डायग्राम ऑफ द ब्रेन ऑल्सो. ठीक है, और उसके फंक्शंस भी हम जानेंगे, है ना. तो आई गेस वी आर गोना हैव फन इन दिस चैप्टर. एंड या, वंस अगेन गाइस, उमंग में हम लोग नॉट ओनली इन बायोलॉजी बट फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री एंड मैथमेटिक्स में वी आर ब्रिंगिंग वंडरफुल वीडियोस. ओके, वंडरफुल टीचर्स, बेस्ट टीचर्स ऑफ इंडिया आर प्रेजेंटिंग दीज वीडियोस. जस्ट गो ओवर देयर, है ना, वॉच बायोलॉजी वीडियोस, वॉच फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री एंड mathematics video. They are wonderfully awesome, and it would be helping you. Okay, right now we are not talking about the exam. When the exams are coming, we will be telling you about the important question and all those stuff. Exam oriented preparation भी करेंगे हम end में जाके, but अभी हमारा main purpose ये है कि आपको बेसिकली क्या कहते हैं, ओवरऑल अंडरस्टैंडिंग इंक्रीज करी जाए. एंड गाइस, हियर एट वेदांतु हम लोगों ने माइक्रो कोर्सेज भी लॉन्च करे हैं. माइक्रो कोर्सेज एज इन आप हमारे साथ आके एक चैप्टर पढ़ सकते हो सिर्फ, इफ यू वांट टू जस्ट ट्राई इट आउट. एंड आई वुड लव टू हैव यू गाइस इन माय क्लासेस. ओके, जस्ट कम ओवर देयर, जस्ट हैव अ एंड द प्राइसेस आर वेरी लेस. आई गेस 59 rupees फॉर अ चैप्टर. एंड या, and trust me guys, the quality of education which you're gonna get over there is like nothing you can compare it with. Okay guys, so yeah, so let's start today's session. ठीक है, so control and coordination, and I'm Amrit sir, not Amrit sir, Amrit Raj. My name is Amrit Raj. So yeah, let's begin guys. So today's chapter, as I told you, today's topic is coordination in plants. See how beautifully the plant is growing. So we'll be studying how does it happen, and how does plant control itself. For example, I am controlling my hand, and I am controlling my hand. See, I'm controlling my hand. I'm controlling my speech. I'm controlling where am I looking at. I'm looking at camera or I'm looking at a screen. है ना? So I'm moving my hand. I'm walking continuously. I'm operating with this. I don't know what to call this, but yeah. So I am controlling my body. Likewise, the plant also controls, excuse me guys, likewise the plant also controls itself. But unlike us, plant is very simple. Okay, it has to just stand over there at a place. पूरी life पे it just stands over there at a place, है ना. But fruits आ जाते हैं. That's the only thing they have. So they have very simple control and coordination. Okay, unlike us, हमें क्या करना होता है? We have to think a lot. Think a lot means go to school, है ना, study, and then study on YouTube, then write board exams, this exam, that exam. So we have a complicated life. So we have a complicated control and coordination system which we are going to study अभी आगे जाके, ठीक है. But now talking about over here in plants, they have simple life, simple coordination system, है ना. We are just going to look at them. Okay guys, let's move forward. So we will see the plant movements guys, है ना. Plant, how do they move and all. Okay, moving forward, the plant movement can be classified as guys two types. One is tropic movement or the dependent on growth. Basically movement which is dependent on growth, that is also called as tropic movement or guys directional movement. Okay, now what do I mean by tropic movement and directional movement, or dependent on growth? The movement which is dependent on growth, by which I means guys, they show movement by growing. How do I show movement? By moving. I come closer, I go farther. This is my movement. Whereas plants don't have legs. So how do they show movement? They show movement by growing in that particular direction. Imagine I'm a plant, I'm just standing, and I have to move in this direction. So what will I do? I cannot move, so what will I do? I start growing in this direction. See how weird the plant is. It will start growing in the direction. It cannot move, so what will it do? It will start growing in that direction. For example, growing towards the water. I am a plant, I need water. So what will I do? I'll start leaving my roots towards the water. I am a branch, and I need a support. I will start moving towards some support over which I can wind and grow. I guess, are you able to understand? So the tropic movement is dependent on growth, means it is because of growth. It's not like plant is moving, but plant is growing in the direction. It's a type of a movement. Then another one is, guys, independent of the growth. Okay, here independent of the growth, and it's also called as nastic movement and non-directional movement, means the movement which the plant shows without moving. It's not moving or nothing, it just shows some movement. For example, the movement in the Chui Mui plants. Chui Mui plant means touch me not plant. You would have seen, right? If you touch the touch me not plant, I guess we have it in the first slide. See, if I touch it over here, what happens? It changes, the slide changes, but now what happens over here is, if I touch a touch me not plant, it droops. It droops. It is not growing or nothing, it is just drooping. So this is not dependent on growth. It is not dependent on growth. But the other type was dependent on growth. Moving forward, guys, tropic movement. It is the, yes guys, so it is the directional movement of the part of a plant caused by its growth. It is in a particular direction. As I told you, it moves in a particular direction towards something, say towards water or towards sunlight, or say towards some chemical stimulus. So we will study what are the different types of tropic movements over there, guys. Moving forward, if the growth is towards the stimulus, we call it as positive tropism. If it is towards the stimulus, what do I call it as? Positive tropism. What do you mean by stimulus, guys? First of all, what is a stimulus? Stimulus means changes in the environment. What do you mean by stimulus? Stimulus means changes in the environment. How the environment can change? By touching. If I touch something, the environment is changing. If I introduce water over there, the environment is changing. If I remove, sunlight, or change the sunlight in the room, I am changing the stimulus. Guys, stimulus is anything but changes in the environment. If plant starts growing towards the change or towards the stimulus, what do we call it as? We call it as positive tropism. If it is going away from the stimulus, it is called as negative tropism. For example, guys, stems move away from the stimulus. That is gravity. Stems, what happens to the stem? Stems, say gravity is going down, gravity नीचे की तरफ होता है ना? So that's the stimulus, but stems grow away from the stimulus. So that is negative tropism. Whereas talking about roots grow towards the stimulus, towards the gravity, we will say it is a positive tropism. I guess I am making it clear. Let's see, you will be having better understanding. Abhi we will see various types of stimulus also. Guys? Exactly. Now, types of trophic movements based on stimulus. There are various types of trophic movements based on stimulus. For example, phototropism. Phototropism means movement towards the sunlight. What do you mean by phototropism, guys? Movement towards the sunlight. Talking about geotropism, movement towards gravity, movement towards the gravity. Talking about chemotrophism, movement towards some chemical. Okay, movement towards some chemical. Hydrotrophism, guys, as the name suggests, movement towards or away from the water. Towards or away. If it is moving towards the water, we will call it as positive tropism. It is moving away from the water, we will call it as negative tropism. Right, guys? Are you like, you're able to follow? I hope. Thigmotropism means, guys, touch. Touch. Moving towards the sensation of touch. You would have seen, right? Some people, money plant and all, they need some support, then only they will grow. So that is because of thigmotropism. They grow in the direction wherever you provide them with support. Exactly, guys. As I was telling you, phototropism, what happens over here? What is phototropism? It is the movement of a part of a plant in response to light. Very important, very important. Now what happens if you keep a plant in a shaded room from where light is coming only in one direction, you will see the plant, instead of growing straight, what will happen? It will start growing towards the sun. समझ आ रहा है? It is moving towards the sun, growing. It cannot walk. This plant cannot walk. So how is it showing its movement? By growing towards that direction. If you can see the plants are moving towards the sun. Can you see every leaf is pointing towards the sun? Why? Because they need sunlight to survive. They need sunlight for photosynthesis, guys. है ना? So what is phototropism? Response to the light. Right, guys? Moving forward. Geotropism. Geotropism means, guys, moving towards or away from the gravity. Moving towards or away from the gravity. Now, exactly what is the stimulus over here, guys? Movement of the plant in response to a gravity. Right? Very good. Now if you can see the shoots, if you place the plant like this, also shoots always grow upwards. Right? And where's the gravity, guys? Gravity is always towards the ground. Gravity is always towards the ground. So can I say the stems always show negative geotropism, whereas positive geotropism is shown by the roots, because roots always want to grow and reach the soil. Right? Where the roots has to get nutrients from the soil, so it will go towards the soil. However, you might place the plant, but root will always find a way to go towards the soil. So can I say it is positive geotropism? Yes, guys, it is positive geotropic movement because it is towards the gravity. So what is the example of a negative geotropic movement? Answer is stem, movement of the stem away from the ground. Moving forward, guys. Chemotrophism. Movement of a plant towards or away from the chemical. Now you'll be sir, where do the chemical, where does this chemotropism happen? But it happens during fertilization in plant. In fertilization of plants. Not of plants, in plants, we will say. Now, what do you mean by fertilization in plants, guys? When anther reaches the stigma of a plant, what do we call it as? Pollination. Now, not anther, the pollen grains from the anther reach the stigma of the plant. What do we call it as? Pollination. Now, after pollination, what happens? The pollen grain is taken to the ovule. Taken to the ovule by what? By a pollen tube. Can you see this yellow color tube is pollen tube, which takes the pollen grain from the stigma to the ovule for fertilization. Hello, guys. So how does the pollen tube know in which direction it should go? It can go in this direction also. The pollen tube could have gone in this direction, but it goes always directly and enters into the ovule. Why? Because of chemotropism. Because ovules release some chemicals and pollen grains basically pollen tube follows that chemicals and grows in that direction directly to the ovule. That is called as, guys, chemotropism. So example, as you know, it's a growth of pollen tube towards the ovule during the process of fertilization in a flower. What is it? It's a chemical stimulus. That is why it is called as chemotropism. Moving forward, guys. Hydrotropism, as the name suggests, movement in response to water. Now plant cannot walk towards water. So what does it do? It just grows its roots towards water. So positive hydrotropism is growth of plant roots towards water. Right, guys? Very good. Now you'll be like, so what is negative hydrotropism? Negative hydrotropism bhi hona chahiye. So have you seen the mangrove trees may sometimes the roots come out of the water. Mangroves are, trees which are present in the areas where there is lots and lots of water. मैंग्रोव ट्रीज जहां पे होते हैं वहां पे क्या होता है, सुंदरबंस एंड ऑल, दे हैव मैंग्रोव ट्रीज. ओके, व्हाट हैपेंस ओवर देयर, देयर लॉट्स एंड लॉट्स ऑफ वाटर इज देयर. सो व्हाट हैपेंस, द रूट्स कम आउट ऑफ द वाटर टू गेट एयर. So that is example of a negative hydrotrophism, we can say. Okay, we call their roots as pneumatophores, है ना? Not needed, just for information, additional information, right? Moving forward, guys, thigmotrophism. As I was telling you, see, the plant starts moving towards the support. Sorry. And it grows, but here we have kept two support, so my plant is confused little. Okay, forgive it. So it is just spinning, but yeah, but generally what you mean thigmotrophism, guys, movement of a part of plant in response to contact or support, in response to contact or support. Right, guys, we are good over here. Moving forward, yeah, so let us see some, let us see what we have done till now, talking about, yes guys, movement. Phototrophism is, what is the stimulus over here? Light, guys. Example, bending of the shoot towards the light. The shoot starts growing towards the light. Moving forward, guys, geotrophism. Stimulus is gravity, bending of the root towards the ground. We are talking about positive tropism. Okay, guys. Moving about chemical trophism. Chemicals, growth of pollen tube towards the ovule. Growth of pollen tube towards the ovule. Sometimes, what happens, guys, when the plant is developing, right? The root is going. Say, imagine below the ground. Say, this is my plant. This is my roots are growing. And here we have some toxic chemicals. Toxic chemicals are there here. Now, what will happen? My plant will start growing away from it. My plants will start growing away from it. This is also a type of a, what should I say? Chemotrophism. Can I call it as a negative chemotrophism? Yes, I can call it as a negative chemotrophism. Don't say, sir, how will the plant know it's a chemical? Because it will get some of its roots damaged. So it's like, होता है ना कभी, when you touch something hot, then you remove, okay, चलो यहाँ नहीं जाते, let's go somewhere else. So like that plant also, when it gets damaged because of, what should I say? When it gets damaged because of some chemicals, so it's like, oh, let's move some other place. Okay, this is not a safe place to be. Moving forward, guys, hydrotrophism. Water is the stimulus and movement towards the ground. Water. Oh my god. As you know, hydrotrophism, water, movement towards the ground, water. Guys, what will come in the exam is they will ask you, what is phototrophism, what is, give example. Examples are the most important, okay? This is the most important part. They will ask, give an example of positive phototrophism. What's the example of a negative geotropism and all these things. Very simple questions will come, guys. And a thigmotrophism, as I told you, what's the stimulus over here? Contact, movement of tendril towards the support. And a movement of tendrils towards the support. Moving forward, guys, nastic movement. We were studying two types of movements are there in the plant. One was trophic movement towards the stimulus or away from the stimulus, or basically dependent on growth. That was the first type of movement. Second type of movement is nastic movement. Movement which is neither towards or away from the stimuli. It's growth independent. It is not dependent on the growth. Now, example, seismonasty, guys. Yes, guys. Talking about the seismonasty is a nastic movement. Movement occurs in response to touch. Movement occurs in response to touch, called as touch me not plant, that is Mimosa pudica. I will understand. Nastic movement is non-directional movement. Okay, it is not neither towards or away from the stimuli. It is independent of growth. For example, seismonasty, which is a nastic movement. What happens? Which it happens where in the touch me not plant occurs because of a touch, which acts as a shock to the plants and it droops. If you can see over here, when we touch it over here, it just droops. It is not growing. It's a very instantaneous reaction, and it just droops. It will go like this. Yes, guys. So this is example, guys. Mimosa pudica is very important. Okay, this is touch me not plant. You need to write Mimosa pudica. Let's see the difference, guys, between these two. Okay. Yes, guys. Talking about the trophic movement, here direction of movement depends upon the direction of the stimuli. As we saw, right, it is a dependent on growth movement, and its direction of the movement depends on the stimulus. Nastic movements are non-directional. They are not neither towards or away from the stimulus. Here what happens? Growth takes place. In nastic movement, there is no growth. Growth does not take place. Moving forward, movements are very slow. Here, movements are fast. It takes plants time for growing, whereas touch me not plant, if you touch instantaneously, it will droop. है ना? For example, movement of shoot towards light, and here drooping of the sensitive plant, that is touch me not plant. Moving forward, guys. Now we saw movement in the plant based on some stimulus. है ना, कि हम टच कर रहे हैं या वाटर दिखा रहे हैं या फिर ग्रेविटी की वजह से कैसा मूवमेंट हो रहा है. नाउ there is another way of plant coordination. Plants also coordinate, means control their body by using chemicals. That is called as chemical coordination, guys. What is it called as? Chemical coordination. What do you mean by chemical coordination? Means using chemicals as messages or messengers to communicate throughout the body. Now, how does that happen? For example, हमारी body में क्या होता है? We have hormones in our body, right? We have hormones. All my students know what's the hormone. These are what, guys? Chemical messengers. Chemical messengers, for example, adrenaline, thyroxine, pituitary gland ka, what are they? The growth hormone, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone. Then talking about insulin, glucagon, testosterone. All these are what? Hormones. What are they? Chemical messengers in human body. Now plants also have such chemical messengers, and what are they called as? Phytohormones. They are called as humans, they are called as hormones. Plant hormones are called as phytohormones. Okay, what do we call as plant hormones? As phytohormones. They are of two types, guys. One are growth promoter, which causes growth. What are they doing? Growth promoter, as the name suggests, they cause growth. Then there is growth inhibitor. As the name suggests, what they would be doing, guys? They would be restricting the growth. They would not allow the plant to grow. Right? Now, based on their names, growth promoters, there are three types of growth promoters. These are auxin, gibberellins, and cytokinins. Auxin, gibberellins, and cytokinin. Talking about the growth inhibitors. What are the inhibitors? Guys, abscisic acid and ethylene. These are the two inhibitors. Abscisic acid is also called as ABA, abscisic acid. Right? Now what we'll be doing? We'll be studying about function of each one of them. है ना? Like for example, we study, right, कि insulin helps in controlling blood glucose level. Adrenaline increases, metabolic rate. Growth hormone is responsible for the growth. है ना? Melatonin is responsible for the rhythmic cycle of the body. Rhythmic cycle means I get up on the morning and sleep at night. Why? Because of hormone called as melatonin. है ना? So we'll be studying about what functions do these hormones play in my body. What's the function of not my body, in plant's body. What's the function of auxin in the plant? What's the function of gibberellins in the plants? Okay, we'll be studying about them. Yes, guys, moving forward. Auxins. Now the first hormone was auxin. What's an auxin? It's a growth promoter. Now what happens at the auxin, guys? Auxin is synthesized at shoot tip and helps cells to grow longer. We were discussing, right? What is auxin? Auxin is a growth promoter. Where is it produced? It is produced at the tip. Shoot tip, which helps to grow longer. Now what happens? See, when the sun is over the top, the plant has to grow in this direction. But see, if I'm moving the direction of the sun, what happens? The auxin starts accumulating over this side. Now, if it is accumulating over this side, what will happen? Cells will grow over here. When the cells are growing over here, what will happen? My plants will start moving like this. Why? Because here many cells are growing, many cells are formed, whereas on this direction, here cells are not formed. So what will happen, guys? Here the weight will increase and it will start moving towards the sun. Are you able to follow? So auxins promote growth. And where do the auxin go? If the direction of the sun changes, what happens? The auxins move to the another corner away from the what? Sun's right, so that the plant can grow towards the sun. Are you able to understand? Here the elongation will take place in this direction. Why? Because all the auxins are here. So what will they do? They will make the cells divide over here. Cell division is very slow. It will be there, but very slow over here. So what will happen? Obviously, एक building बना रही, if you are making a building and if you add more bricks over this side and not adding any bricks over this side, what will happen? This side will get heavier and heavier and it will start moving towards the sun. Guys, I hope I am making it clear, है ना? Yeah. Moving forward, guys. So are you able to follow? Auxin is synthesized at the shoot tip and it's a growth promoter. As the name suggests, let's see the function, guys. Function is very important. Okay. Because it will come in the exam, which plant hormone, is found on the shoot tip, which is responsible for elongation and growth. What is it responsible for? Elongation and growth. Auxins are responsible for elongation also. See, guys, cell is formed. Now cell has to get elongated also. See, this is a cell. It gets elongated also. When it gets elongated, it will increase the length of the plant. And it promotes cell division, actually increases the number of the cells. Helps in root initiation in the cutting. It helps in root initiation, means root की formation में help करता है. If you cut the roots, what happens over there? It helps in again initiating the root formations. Causes apical dominance. Guys, you would have studied it in your 9th grade. What is apical dominance? Apical dominance means only shoot tip. Not only shoot tip and root tip have a tissue called as, guys, meristematic tissue. Sorry, I was hiding it. So yeah, shoot tip and root tip have a tissue called as meristematic tissue, which is responsible for the growth. Which is responsible for the growth of the plant. If you see a plant, you will find here what is present. Meristematic tissue is present. So this will be elongate. Meristematic tissue is responsible for growth of a plant. Growth of a plant because of cell division. What is the meristematic tissue? It's a tissue which is responsible for division and many cells are produced. That is why the plant grows in size. So meristematic tissue are predominantly, mostly present at the shoot tip. This is what is my shoot tip. And this is my root tip. If you see plant mein, the shoot and the root grows very fast. So that is called as apical dominance. Apical dominance means apex and the root tips are growing very fast. They are dominating the growth. That is what we call it as apical dominance. Okay, dominance of the apex. Moving forward, it is used in parthenocarpy. What do you mean by parthenocarpy, guys? Parthenocarpy means production of the fruits without fertilization. Okay, no need to get into detail over there, है ना? You will study it in the higher classes, but just remember, auxin are useful in parthenocarpy. Now, for me, talking about the last point, abscission or natural detachment of the parts of the plant. Auxin helps in natural detachment of the parts of the plant. For example, the fruits, they get ripe, right? They fall off, na? Why? Because of auxin. The leaves, when they get matured, they fall off because of, yes guys, auxin. Yeah, very good. Moving forward. Yes guys, gibberellins. Gibberellins, they stimulate the elongation and leaf expansion. Now what will they do? Sorry. They cause stem elongation and leaf expansion. Guys, you will be like, sir, this is also causing elongation. Auxin was also causing elongation. Guys, hormones have, like, it is not very clear-cut division between the function. Okay, it's like all together, what are they doing? They are helping in growth of the plant. It is doing elongation of the stems as well as leaf ka expansion. Whereas auxin was doing growth, means producing more cells, and it was also helping in elongation also. Okay, moving forward, guys. Functions of the gibberellins. It is used for elongation of genetically dwarfed varieties of plants such as corn and P means elongation के लिए use करते हैं हम. For example, corn and pea. Helps in breaking seed dormancy. Means gibberellins क्या करता है? Help the dormant seeds to grow. For example, what do you mean by dormant seed? First of all, dormant seed means that seed, yes guys, that seed which is not growing because of non-availability of favorable condition. आपने देखा होगा ना, seeds को आप रखोगे तो it can survive for a very long time. But as soon as you provide them with water and good soil and everything, it will start growing. So when the seed is not growing, we'll call it as a dormant seed. So yeah, what's a dormant seed? Inability of a seed to germinate even in the presence of all favorable condition. Right guys? So what helps? Gibberellin helps the dormant seed to grow. That is why it is, growth promoter. Moving forward guys, it helps in seed germination also. Seed germination means giving out roots and giving out shoot from the radical and plumule parts. And no need to go into detail, but आप ये understand कर लो. Promotes flowering in plants guys. है ना? Promotes flowering in plants. The gibberellins promote flowering in plants under unfavorable condition. In some plants में it has to flower in unfavorable condition, basically bud dormancy. Dormancy means, beta, dormant means not active. Normal English word, dormant means not active. Bud dormancy means bud is not active. Bud means the flower जो जिसमें से फूल निकलता है, that is not active. So gibberellin helps to activate the bud. Moving forward, gibberellins along with auxin control fruit growth and development. What is it doing? Helping fruit ka growth and development also guys. Like guys, I just want you to remember at least 2-3 function और broadly आपको पता होना चाहिए कि auxin, gibberellins and cytokinins are growth promoter, abscisic acid and ethylene are growth inhibitors. And one more thing guys, don't memorize these, okay? Whatever I'm giving you, you need not memorize this. What are you supposed to do is you are supposed to learn the keywords, okay? I keep telling my students, you cannot memorize this entire thing and vomit in the exam, okay? The whole point is to study with the keyword method. I would today I have less time, limited time, okay? So but yeah, in the coming sessions I will tell you how to read, how to memorize or how to learn the subject basically, okay? People say कि biology is very difficult, the names and all these things. I will tell you how to study it particularly. Okay, guys, moving forward, cytokinins, it's a group of hormones, mostly acts in conjunction with auxin. Conjunction means with together with auxin. The ratio of cytokinins and auxin controls cell differentiation. Now what do you mean by cell differentiation guys? Now what do you mean by cell differentiation? For example, beta, cells are also like babies. For example, when the cell is born, plant mein also it is a baby. It grows, it goes to school and it becomes specialized to perform a particular function. For example, all of you are now studying in school. Now some of you will become doctors, some of you will become engineers, some of you will become lawyers or pilot or teachers, whatever. Now that is you becoming differentiated. You get differentiated to become a lawyer. You get differentiated to become a policeman. And you get differentiated to become a a doctor or an engineer. Are you able to understand guys? You are getting differentiated. Likewise, plant cells, sab ek saath, initially they are like similar, but later on, some of the plant cells will become bark, some of the plant cells will become root cells, some of the plant cells will become fruit, some of the plant cells will become leaves. Are you able to understand? They're getting differentiated to perform a particular function. Leaf cells will perform photosynthesis, stem cells, they don't do anything, they just transfer food here and there. Root cells will go in search for water. So that is what is cell differentiation, guys. Moving forward, yeah, it promotes cytokinins also, promotes cell division, guys. If 3 things come na, auxin, gibberellins and cytokines, you can say it promotes cell division because they are for growth. Helps in secondary growth in the thickness of the plant. What does it do? It helps in thickness of the plant. Some plants are very thick, right? Banyan tree are very thick. Some plants are very patla dubla sa. So they don't have cytokinins. Cytokinins helps in secondary growth. What's the primary growth, guys? Primary growth means growth in the length. Secondary growth is growth in the girth. Girth means diameter of the plant. Moving forward, it helps in suppression of apical dominance. Means it suppresses the apical dominance and causes the plant to grow in the diameter. Moving forward, guys, can retard, delay aging in plants and deterioration with age. What does it do? It can delay the aging of the plant or deterioration with the age deterioration with the age means falling of the leaves, है ना, or root not developing. So all this it can prevent. Cytokine, it's like the amrit amrit for the plant. It can delay aging, prevent it, deterioration with age. So yeah, moving forward, guys. So yeah, cytokine is equal to amrit. Yep. Yes, guys. Talking about ethylene, guys. What does the ethylene do? Ethylene is responsible for ripening of the plant. What is ethylene? First of all, it's a growth inhibitor. Ethylene we saw, it's a growth inhibitor. It's not causing growth, but it is just causing the ripening. Is there any new cell formed in ripening? No. The same cells get converted into ripened cells. Hormone is growth inhibitor. It is the only gaseous. Exactly. One more thing. Ethylene is gaseous, guys. Gaseous phytohormone. High concentration of auxin induces ethylene formation. When auxin is high, very high, what happens? Ethylene is formed. Right? Very good, guys. Because to control the function of the auxin, because auxin ज़्यादा हो गया, बहुत ज़्यादा growth हो जाएगी. To control it, we have ethylene, and it causes ripening of the plant. Moving forward, guys. And guys, one more thing. All these hormones are not acting in silos. Silos means अकेले काम नहीं करते. They are all working together. They are working as a system and controlling the entire plant. Right? Moving forward, guys, it promotes ripening, as I was telling you. Yeah, ethylene promotes ripening, accelerated abscission of the leaves, flowers, and fruits. Abscission means falling of the leaves, falling of the fruits, falling of the flowers. Okay, it accelerates. It means fastness. Causes senescence, aging or senescence. Senescence means aging-related things like falling of the branches or falling of the leaves. All these things is called, senescence. Talking about senescence means deterioration, the symptoms of deterioration with the age. Aging के साथ क्या क्या problem होती है? Human beings में skin lose हो जाती है ना? Energy कम हो जाती है. And likewise, plants also have some, what should I say, symptoms of aging. So that is senescence. Now, inhibits stem elongation. It inhibits, रोकता है. As you know, ethylene is an inhibitor and stimulates transverse expansion so that stems looks swollen. It inhibits long wala direction mein, and it causes transverse, basically increases the diameter of the plant. Moving forward, guys. Abscisic acid. Okay, abscisic acid is also known as ABA. Guys, it functions against auxin and gibberellin. It's a growth inhibitor. We have done it in the beginning itself. It helps in controlling the action of auxin and gibberellin. Guys, very important. It is also called as stress hormone. It is also called as stress hormone. Now, why stress hormone? When water is not there, ABA moves to the stomata and causes the stomata to close. It closes the stomata. Why? To avoid transpiration. To avoid transpiration. Okay, to prevent transpiration, what does it do? The ABA closes the stomata. Moving forward, guys, what is the function? Yes, guys, inhibits growth, increases seed and bud dormancy. It does not cause them to break up or grow. Reduces transpiration, as I told you, reduces transpiration by closing the stomata during water stress condition. Water stress is water hai nahi. So what does it do? It closes the stomata to prevent transpiration. Hence, it is called as stress hormone. It stimulates the formation of abscission zones. Abscission zones means zones of separation, guys. Separation. There is separation zones over there in the plant. Okay, it causes senescence. Senescence, as I told you, symptoms of aging, like falling of the leaf, ripening of the fruits, and all this thing is called as senescence. Moving forward, guys. Okay, very good. We are done. So yeah, guys, this was it about the plant hormones or phytohormones. What will come over here is they will ask you from what about geotropism, or the tropic movement ka example is very important. Apart from that, guys, 3 hormones: auxin, gibberellins, and cytokines. These are growth promoters. Growth inhibitors are ethylene, and abscisic acids are growth inhibitors. Guys, just remember there are 2 or 3 functions. Okay, 2 or 3 functions, the important ones which I have highlighted, or whichever you find it easier. And I guess for the first 2 you can write they promote growth, and for first 3 you can write they promote growth, and the last 2 you can write they inhibit growth. Okay guys, the most important is the tropic movement guys, and their example that they are very important, and the stress hormone is abscisic acid. Yes guys, that's it from my side, and next class we will be doing about central nervous system guys. That is way more interesting than plants. I know whenever plants we are not able to relate to plant, but human beings, whenever we are studying human brain, human spinal cord, maza aayega aapko, theek hai? So yeah, I'll try to show you the animation also in those classes. Okay guys, so till then, that's it from my side. I'll see you in the next class. Do watch respiration, transportation guys. It has been done amazingly. Do watch physics, chemistry, mathematics, other videos also. They are also amazing. And yes guys, so stay connected, spread the love. Tell your friends also to watch, whoever are finding it difficult to study in the exams or whatever it is. And guys, help others. If they can get benefited, it's well and good. Or yeah, you can download our app also, Vedantu ka app also. There you can post your doubts 24/7. We'll be helping you with that. Okay guys, thank you for your attention and whatever your time. I'll see you in the next class. Stay focused, keep smiling, and that's it. Bye.